Hey, everybody, back here on Aftermath Digital, and we've got our fails, and I'll kick it off. And I'm going to say this in the nicest way I can because my wife did not say it very nice on the Night of Champions. Drew McIntyre needed four guys' help to beat Randy Orton and put him in an ambulance. That's what it looked like over here. Yes, the story was being told about the guys that Randy beat up on his way to getting to this ambulance match. However, it really looked like Drew McIntyre was getting four people to help him defeat Randy Orton. And in this world of, is Drew a good champion? Is he not? We need to see the reaction of people when he's present. So in this lack of audience, yes, it was star-studded interference, but it was four people interfering to help Drew McIntyre. And that's my fail.
I totally agree. I didn't like how it was portrayed, like you said, because usually the good guy in these situations are the ones who are at a disadvantage. It was Randy Orton who was at a disadvantage because he had, like you said, four other guys helping Drew. So in the process of winning this match, as Drew did, I don't think it helped him in the end. And that's not good, in my opinion. Anyways, and looking forward, I get the explanation on Monday night that, hey, we went into business for ourselves. Drew knew nothing about it. Doesn't make a difference to me. It's still... It didn't sit well with me. Let's leave it at that.
Now, gentlemen, I can certainly see where you're coming from. And I think as soon as I saw all those guys interfere, I heard the backlash. I thought the backlash myself, like, this guy is a monster of a champion and needs four dudes to help him. Let me try and play devil's advocate a little bit. So
Sure.
I heard commentary talking the entire time. It's like, Drew, he's got a broken jaw. That has to be affecting him. And then in the match, Drew, it looks like he's hurt his knee. He's at a severe disadvantage the next night. Drew, he's already beaten Randy Orton, so it's not like he needed to prove something again. So I think they tried to at least lay the groundwork to say that there was a reason for this interference. Now, I don't necessarily buy the entire part of it, but I can understand why each one of those legends did get involved. And I can kind of buy the fact that Drew was already hurting with the jaw, with the knee. He'd already beat him, that the legend interference didn't bother me as much as perhaps everybody else.
Yeah, all they had to do was just reverse the order and Drew win the match, and then they do their stuff and get so everyone gets the revenge and retribution, and then it's a feel-good moment. Drew is, the champion. He won fair and square, and then everyone got that extra added bonuses of these legends. And
it was nice to see everybody, and it was great little spots for everybody, but it also made Randy look even stronger than he's ever looked, because it took five guys to beat Randy Orton and not even pin Randy Orton, just stick him in an ambulance and shut the door. Jimmy, you've got to fail from the Raw tag team match.
Okay, I understand it as a former official. I understand that accidents happen and referees sometimes make mistakes, whether it's the NFL, the NHL, it doesn't matter where you are, referees make errors. But at the same time, the referee should not be the focus of attention at the end of a match and be the reason why people are going, hey, what the heck happened there? And that's what happened at the end of this match. As we found out, Angel Garza got injured and kind of took himself out of the match. But at the same time, the ending of the match was very controversial, which was very well pointed out by people like Corey Graves and stuff like that. Again, the official should not be the focus. The talent should be the focus. The superstar should be the focus. And I thought that took away from what was otherwise a pretty good tag match.
Yeah, that was actually originally my fail as well. But I don't know who to put the blame on, because it's everybody. It's the people in Gorilla saying, so-and-so's hurt, wrap it up. The official trying to do his job. The guy's not getting the information and kicking out. And then the commentators pointing it out. It was a mistake by a lot of people. And that's why when you have a match, you always got to have a plan B in your back pocket, and you got to make it collapsible. You have to have in case anything goes wrong, this is what we're going to do. And it's important. Otherwise, people get hurt, but take your time, talk about it. Let's find a proper way to get out of this without just a train wreck. And not very fun to watch. Kind of almost insulting a little bit to the audience to see it, and then you can just see Spider just panicking in the ring, like I don't know what's going on in his ear. Oops, my earpiece fell out. But as he's raising their hands, it just sounds like it looks like he's being yelled at.
I'm pretty sure he was. Trust me, I've been on the other end of that earpiece many times, and I without going too inside baseball, there's a lot going on in there sometimes.
I do want to say, as an improviser, I use the tool of improv to create comedy. And so I see moments where improv, learning how to think on the fly, would help a situation. Now, in that particular match, you had 4 guys that had trained in NXT. And when you're in NXT, you learn how to build a match. You learn how to put a match together. You learn how to finish a match. You learn how to make that match entertaining. You learn how to put together a perfect match. But if you don't learn how to improvise, when a situation like this happens, you don't know what to do. And it looked like all of the people in that match did not know what to do when a surprise happened and the match had to be changed. So I would recommend improv classes to every single person in that match.
When I watch something like that happen, I'm not sure if WWE is just being smart like a fox at that point, and they're pulling the wool over my eyes, where I say, wow, looked like it was a mess up. And then I go, or was it? And I sit there for a minute and I go, or are they just so smart that they're outsmarting everybody else who might be smart?
It's true. We could be the smartest, dumbest people in the room watching that match. What? Jimmy says no. Okay. Kevin Mickey from Sportsnet.ca is with us. Kevin, what's your fail this week?
My fail goes back to Clash of Champions as well. And with Nikki Cross unable to wrestle for reasons that we're not too sure about quite yet, Bayley issued an open challenge for her championship. And who took that challenge? Well, it was Asuka, the woman who wrestled no more than an hour before that. Now, it was cool to see Asuka back in the ring because obviously she's a top-tier talent. Fun to watch her wrestle. But if Asuka's standing right near Gorilla and the open challenge is issued and Bayley says, anybody, and Asuka says, cool, I'm up, and she runs out there, nobody else was there? No other talent that perhaps hadn't gotten a shot yet or hadn't received a lot of time on television lately, or perhaps someone who was new to the roster and wanted to get a little bit more sheen on them? Well, instead it's Asuka, someone that we had seen wrestle twice for the title, a couple pay-per-views before that, and that we had just seen wrestle no more than an hour before that match. I thought that they could have arrived at the same conclusion with Sasha coming out and attacking Bayley with a chair, even with a different opponent. It didn't necessarily have to be Asuka in my mind. I thought that another wrestler, another sports entertainer, could have taken that opportunity and run out there in order to get a little bit more shine on them in that big match performance, in that big match scenario.
Oh, 100%. You know, we just keep seeing the same people over and over, the same matchups over and over. For example, will the Hurt Business ever fight anyone else? But Asuka, not only had she just wrestled, but we've seen Asuka and Bayley a million times. We had also seen Asuka fight Nikki a billion times. And so that was the match we were going to tune into again with a jacked up roster of women superstars, including people who are just showing up in Raw Underground and fighting there. Like, why wouldn't, Dabba-Kato popped into the ring last Monday. Why wouldn't Marina Shafir or Jessamine Duke come over from Raw Underground and step out and go, I'll fight Bayley, even if it's going to end with Sasha interfering. Throw somebody else out there. Give us something new. Show Bayley struggle against a new opponent.
Yeah, and I hate to draw comparisons to other situations, but as we witnessed on Raw this week, we got a big surprise when Drew McIntyre issued that open challenge and we got a returning Robert Roode. And I nearly jumped off my couch. Went, oh yes, cool! Because it was a surprise. It was fresh.
About him.
And and it was something new. It was not the same match we've seen.
Yep.
Anthony, you've got a big fail. Not that we want to bring them up every week. Not that we want to say it's a fail overall. Not that we want to cast aspersions on where it might be going. But yet again, Retribution makes the fail list.
I have never seen anything so universally despised as this whole Retribution thing. There's nobody. It's everything. It's the grievances, the fact that they got contracts, the quality of the costumes and masks, and it's someone's just saying, you know what, we're gonna stick with it and put them in the main event and do this and do that and give them this time. It takes a strong person to say I was wrong. and to just pull the plug on something. But it feels like it needs to be done. It's hot garbage.
Well, I'm not a big fan of it as well, but for a couple of reasons. And one is that of all the people who are taking on Retribution, it's another bad guy faction in the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
Why are the Hurt Business, trying to help? We know why Retribution is there, because they got offered contracts and they're getting paid now. Why? Anyways, and the fact that Ken Dryden is a member of Retribution. Did you see the guy with Matt?
Yeah, looks like Wild Dog from DC Comics.
On social media, someone from Retribution, I don't know who, was
T-Bar.
It's T-Bar.
Was trying to justify
social media.
Justify why they got contracts and saying it's cheaper for them to get contracts than to pay all the security guards that we beat up every week. And so even the talent is going on social media and trying to make sense of why they got contracts, because that didn't make sense. And yeah.
All it would have really taken is someone on the announced team to say that they keep interfering and everybody wants to get their hands on them, and the only way you can legally get your hands on them is if you give them contracts and put them in the ring. Even just saying something dumb like that would make sense, but so far, nothing.
I also noticed that in the video package they played to explain what Retribution has been up to, there was the couple of times where Retribution had about 20 members, it looks like, and now we're down to, 6? What happened to the other people? They cast them aside? We didn't want them in the contracts as well. They're not getting contracts.
Only we get contracts, not these guys.
Exactly.
They're not good enough to get contracts. I will say it does look like they went to the Halloween store and say, just buy everything, because it's not often you see somebody with a hoodie and a mask with makeup on under the mask. It's not often. I mean, occasionally, but you would think that the mask would work or the makeup, but the combination together is a mess. That's it. It's a mess.
They went to Spirit of Halloween and bought out the place. Every single thing.
Two of everything for my friends in Retribution. They got a great budget for Spirit Halloween. Guys, that's our fails for this week. Do you agree or disagree? Get a hold of Jimmy Corderas on Twitter and let him know. Use the hashtag AskAftermath if you have any questions for us. And stick around, because coming up, we're going to give our matches that we're looking forward to at NXT TakeOver 31 this weekend. Stay tuned.